Hey everyone, it's Orange. Welcome to my January 2017 Rune Showcase video. This one is a special one, not because it's the first one of the year, but because this is the first month where you guys will get to see gems and grindstones on my monsters. I finally gave in and started farming R5 because Come To Us came out with the patch announcement, patch announcement, whatever it was, and they said that in the next patch they would be buffing the rune drop rate in the dungeons. So I feel like it kind of would have been a waste of energy and crystals to farm the dungeons when the drop rate was just going to be buffed. So in the meantime, I hung out in R5 and I picked up a ton of grindstones and gems, especially because I don't have any, so I was keeping basically everything that dropped, pretty much besides the flat stuff. I did keep a lot of flat stuff though. So I'm excited to show you guys that. Before I start going over the runes, let's talk about what my focuses were for free rune removal. That way, as I'm going through the runes, you guys can know what to keep a lookout for. So, I had two focuses. I worked on runing up my Shaolin again, sort of, and my R5 monsters. I really had a focus on my R5 monsters because I was doing R5, I ran into some people who have moved on to stronger R5 teams with 2 damage dealers, because I feel like that's really like the second step for R5. First, you get your safe team going, I guess. Oh shoot, we don't want to be in public. So you get your safe team. I don't know, I kind of put that in quotes because with your safe team, you still do need some damage with it, I guess. Well, maybe not really. This was my first R5 team, my safe team. And then from here, I've seen pretty much everyone suggest to use Shaolin in R5, so I built her. And this team, I think, is the next team for me. I don't think my runes are quite there yet because it does die a lot to the third jump. I'll only have like 2 monsters surviving, like the Fire Panda and Chasun or something like that, after the third jump. I might be able to put Darien in here. He might be a little bit safer for the moment, but I wanted to have this team ready because some of my guild members, like, sometimes I think it's safe enough for me to run this team with some of my guild members, and they can kind of like finish off the raid boss if some of my stuff dies. But overall, I think I still need to continue working on these runes and continue to improve them, because that's pretty much all of Summoner's War, continually working on your runes to eventually get YOLO teams and stuff like that. Oh yeah, if you guys haven't seen, there was like a really cool video out there. I think some Chinese people ran 4-man R5s or 3-man R5s or something, Jemire Katarina something, and they cleared R5 in like 30 seconds or something like that. Something crazy. I'll link it down below if you guys want to check that out. So I kind of worked on that, and then my second project for free rune removal was a defense, an arena defense, because if you guys have been following me, you've known that I've been struggling to get Guardian 1, and I feel like Rena could help, but thinking about it now, I'm not really sure. So I decided to rune up Chloe, Rena, Talc, and Freya and try that out for Rush Hour, but it just got demolished. I think I was, what rank was I? I think I was rank, I'll show you guys the pictures, but whenever I changed that defense over, it just started getting hit. So I'm not sure what really happened there, like what my problems were, but I do know that people use double Rena to get Guardian 3, so the double Rena thing I still want to carry through with and have at some point, but the defense that I tried didn't work, so I did de-rune those after that failed, and I spent the mana on it, so I took some runes off of Ramagos to do that, and then I went ahead and put them back on Ramagos afterwards. So those were my 2 focuses, and then as always, for most free rune removals, they're kind of like a maintenance sort of thing for me. So I always have a tier list in my head of monsters that are really high priority for best runes. So I always rune up the monsters that are the most important, highest priority, and then I continue down the list, and then everything else gets runed afterwards. So I went ahead and did that. Even my best rune monsters had some upgrades. My Doublelutions get my absolute best runes, and I think they did have some changes in their builds. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. So I did that. Then that kind of goes with the rune drop rate thing. I always have upgrades. So yeah, so I went ahead and kind of went through my list. Some monsters I left alone. I did rune up Ganymede, but I still need to fix him a little bit. I'm kind of eager to get back in dungeons because I want to rune up more monsters, and I feel like I don't have runes for them at the moment. So I'm looking at runing up Kebensnoof sometime soon. I think that's how you say it. Kebensnoof, sometime soon, because I do want to try out Katarina, Ganymede, Kebensnoof for Guild Wars, and also Tark. I kind of want to work on a YOLO DB10 team next month. I think Tark might help. I'm kind of looking at getting like 1-minute runs next month, but we'll see if that happens. I don't know. I probably shouldn't talk about like future plans. We should just talk about what I did. So I think we can go ahead and get into the video because I covered everything. So I'm going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to start out with buildings first. So here are my Glory Shop buildings at the moment. And I'll probably do monster storage afterwards as well as dungeon runs. So here we go. I have been thinking that next I'm probably going to max out the Wind Sanctuary just because it's so expensive. I think it's going to take me a couple more months, like 2 months maybe, to max out that Wind Sanctuary fully, just for my Lucians. And then after that, I might do the Water and Fire evenly. I don't know. I'll see. Then let's go over Guild Shop stuff too, so you guys can see what I've upgraded in the last month. And then we will do runes, monster storage, and then dungeon runs. So there we go. There's the guild shop. Here we go. Oh gosh. Stop. Okay, here we go. Runes. Soha I'm not going to even show because it's pretty much like she's de-runed at the moment. Vampire Revenge, but I didn't rune her and I don't use her at all, so we're not going to even show her. Megan I use with my Bernard Doublelution Arena Offense, and I also use her quite a bit in Guild Wars as well with Lagmaron Lucian Megan, or sometimes with Bernard Lucian Megan. Sometimes I do Theo Lucian Megan for Guild Wars Offense as well. So she is speed tuned with my team. If Bernard moves first, she will move directly after. Nothing can cut in. So I made sure to speed tune her properly. I actually don't know if I did because I don't know how the game, when I ruined her, I didn't know if the game rounded or not, like rounded up or whatever or down, but she will move, so she might have a little extra speed than necessary. I can't remember, but all the main thing that you guys should realize, or that I should tell you, is that she will move after him. So I gave her 85% accuracy because that's what people think is the maximum cap for PvP. And then after that, so I made sure she was fast enough. I gave her 85% accuracy. And then after that, I really just looked for tankiness so she would survive. She's not a damage dealing Megan, as you guys can tell. So I looked for tankiness after that. Next, Sig. I believe I left Sig untouched because he was working out fine, and I did a ton of work on free rune removal, and I just felt like this would just be too much, and it might mess up some things, so Sig was untouched. I still like where he is at the moment, like rune quality-wise. Maybe I could give him some more speed, and that might make me a little bit happier. I have been thinking about skilling him up to use him for speed DB10 with Tark, because I think he'd be better than Theo just because of the AoE and stuff, and I think he does more damage than Theo. And also I was thinking about runing him for a cleave team, but I'm not really sure about that. I was watching someone and someone was using him It was like Jew Bagel or YDCB or something like that. I think it was Jew Bagel. So that kind of like inspired me. So he's kind of on my radar for Devilmon. It's going to take a while though, because at the moment I have 0. So I'm definitely looking at getting that Ice Volcano, and that's probably the only one that I really want for the purposes that I'm using him for. Frozen Orb would be good for PvP, but really not for dragons, because the runs are just going to be over so quickly. I don't think the Frozen Orb's really going to help me. I don't know though. I mean, that's just kind of what I feel at the moment. Theo, he did see some upgrades. He's actually looking good at the moment. So what I did for him was, I personally, for crit rate, whenever I rune up damage dealers, I always give them like a crit rate that I'm comfortable with, and then after that I look at other things. So for my damage dealers, I make the crit rate that I'm most comfortable with is 80%, preferably like 85. That's like the minimum that I'll go for. Minimum 80%. I will not rune damage dealers under that unless they're like Necro monsters or R5 monsters, because I feel like I might be able to get away with lower crit rate on those monsters. So Theo has that like hidden passive, a hidden 15% crit rate because of his passive here. So I think he did get better though. His HP's looking really good, his speed's looking better. So I runed up Theo first. I did my Lucians, then I did Theo, then I did Lagmaron, and then I tuned everything around Theo that I generally use with Theo. So I made sure to make my Chisoon faster than him. Who else did I make faster? Ganymede and Veligul as well. Here is my Galleon. I think I did have to change some stuff on him because some other monsters took some runes off of him. So I just have him speed tuned to use for Guild Wars with Galleon Theo Lagmaron, or not, Galleon Theo Bernard or Galleon Lagmaron Bernard. And I also use Galleon for Giants B10, but yeah, I had to make sure to speed tune him for Guild Wars. He will be speed tuned with my damage dealers for Arena as well, because the speed leader's less. So I think it worked out. Yeah, pretty sure it did. So for him, again, 85% accuracy for PvP, speed tuned, and then after that I went for tanky stats because I feel like mine works out better that way in Guild Wars, but if I use Galleon for speed DB10, I might look at getting some damage on him. I don't really know though. I don't think so. I think he'll be fine this way. Julie, I tried to rune up for using on arena offense with Lucians, either Bernard, Megan, Julie, Lucian, or Megan, Lucian, Julie, but she kind of fell through because I don't think I could give her good enough runes, so maybe next month, I don't know. My double Lucians are doing fine though. Like, I feel like all I really need is double Lucians. I will expand at some point, but I don't think it's super necessary at the moment, so I kind of ended up giving up on her. Here is my Shaolin. I think her stats are actually, I don't actually know. I was looking up builds for her on Reddit. Reddit's my favorite place to go for builds. A lot of people say, yeah, I guess that's an accurate saying. For some PvP guilds, I think it's better to look at the arena rankings. So for PvP builds, I think it's best to kind of go over here and see what people are doing on the top ranked list. But if you guys are looking for like PvE builds, Reddit is always, I feel like Reddit always comes through with giving really good suggestions for builds. So I looked up some people's Shaolins on Reddit, and I think mine is similar to theirs. So I tried to give her some pretty good runes, but I don't know if her tankiness is really there for frontline. And then she's also not on Vampire, which hurts her. So I tested that out, but I don't know how often I'm going to use that YOLO R5 team. I've just been really sticking to my safer R5 team because it works out, it definitely works out better in public raids. Here is my Rena. I did rune her up to try to test her out, but she got deruned. I have been thinking about runing her back up to use for Guild Wars against Sierra teams, But I don't know, I feel like the not having skill ups kind of hurts her. So there she is. Here's Beretta. He did get changed a little bit. I only use him for TOA and TOA hard autoing. So he pretty much has my best support despair runes. And then the only reason I have him on focus is because for TOA and TOA hard, all you need is 45% accuracy, so you really don't need focus runes at all. But I didn't want to have him steal anything else from anyone else, so I just decided to rune him with some pretty good focus runes. So that's him. I have been testing him out on AD, but I don't think it's really working out that well. So let's check how they're doing. Let's see. Oh, okay. All fails, but earlier I checked and I had 2 successfuls, which is like 22% win rate. But yeah, this is not good. I'll probably have to... I don't know if I can use that defense, but I was just having some fun. Here is Colleen. She's on my Necro team and my R5 team. I have her on Triple Revenge. I feel like that definitely helps out a lot in Necro. And then in R5 for sure as well, so she can get that attack debuff on the boss when he does his 3rd jump. And I use her with my Ramagos team, so I like my Colleen. Here is Spectra. I took runes off of him and then didn't rune him back up. So if I ever do have to use him for TOA hard, I do have to use him for a couple levels. I will just donate runes to him for those levels. But I think it's okay to use or to leave him unruned because I don't have any plans for him. But he is very good for very specific purposes. He carries me in TOA hard on those particular levels. Here is my Adrian. My Necro team is messed up and I need to stop being lazy and I need to fix that. And then I also need to look at runing up Kevin Snuff, and there was something else that I kind of wanted to work on, the Tark. So I will have to buckle down and see if I can get away with non-violent builds on these monsters for TOA hard. And I'll have to see if that works. I don't know. Or not TOA hard, Necro. Sorry, I'm confusing my terms. Yeah, I'll have to do some research and stuff on that. Here is my Veligil. He's on my AD, and I use him for Guild Wars as well, and that's pretty much it. So I gave him pretty good runes because he's on my AD. He's on there with Vero, Ratesh, Veligil, Freya. And I don't know what the deal is, like if it's just my runes or if it's my monsters that's holding me back from G1. My AD is the issue. Like, I think my AO is fine. I might be doing my offenses slightly wrong, or yeah, slightly wrong. So I can improve a little bit with, you know, hitting people that I should hit. Because during rush hour, I think you're pretty much only supposed to hit like the top 2 people on your list. So I might be messing it up a little bit too. This month I decided to continue giving him very good runes because I wanted to be able to fall back on that AD in case my Rena Talc one didn't work out, which was the case. And I use him a ton in Guild Wars as well. Vero, Veligil, Ratesh, Theo, Veligil, Ratesh. So yeah, I gave him good runes. For him, I just made him tanky and fast, as you guys can see. Verd, I did not touch at all, I don't think. So he should be the same from last month. And he will be on my YOLO DB10 team. So I don't know what I'm going to do with him. Maybe leave him the same. Probably. Yeah, we'll see. I'll have to see how the runs go when I do build Tark or whatever. I'll show you guys a run and we can talk about it when we get to that run. Here is Shihua. I tried to fix her, but she had to give runes to some other monsters, and she ended up being kind of weird. So, yeah, I feel like she's just not tanky enough for Necro, and I feel like that's really the main issue with my damage dealers, that they're just not tanky enough. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe I just need more damage overall. It's kind of like a bicycle, and you gotta balance the damage and the tankiness. Here is my Hua. I went through 2 builds on her recently. I think I had her at like plus 50 speed for R5, but I changed her back to the faster one. I kind of noticed that she doesn't get the attack buff because I think she moves before everything else. So right after she moves, she gets the attack buff, and then sometimes she gets stunned, so she's not using that attack buff at all. So I might have to slow her down a little bit. I don't really know. But for now, I think she's fine. But there are some improvements I can make to everything, like all my teams. So I've been noticing that some of my stuff's kind of a little bit weird. Here is Lisa. I do believe she got slightly better. Maybe. She might have lost some resistance. Right now, I use her in R5 and probably on my YOLO-ish DB10 team whenever I get that going. She's a really good monster for it. So the only thing she's lacking for DB10 is accuracy, because for DB10 the accuracy cap is 55%. For R5 it's only like 15. So I don't know if that's going to be something that I look at improving or not, but this is how she is right now. Tessarian had to donate some runes, sadly, and he's probably one of those that I may look at runing up again sometime soon. Just like the other kind of niche monsters, I really don't use him that much, but there are some instances where I can use him and he helps. But yeah, I don't really use him that much. Here is Bulldozer. I do think he got improved a little bit, actually, mainly with grindstones. And I don't know, I think it was just grindstones. I don't think I made any rune changes on him. Pretty sure, maybe I made like one or something. I do not remember. Here is my fire panda. I would try to say that name, but it looks hard. Xiang Fei? I don't know. Maybe I said that right. So he is one of my frontliners for R5. And like I told you guys, I do think I will stick to my safer R5 team, which has him on it. Even with my YOLO R5 team, sometimes people need me to bring the defense leader, and I can't bring Darien. So yeah, I think he just stayed the same. Pretty sure that's what happened. Here's Chloe. I did rune her up. Like, her build is very weird. I don't know how I chose this. But I don't know. This is really weird. I runed her up with that Talc Arena defense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. It was just a build that I picked, but I have nothing to say. It was pretty much like random. I just kind of felt like maybe if people were going to double Lucian or cleave me, that they would do both of their attacks and I should survive. Then Rena does her invincibility thing. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Or not Rena, Chloe. It doesn't make any sense. Don't pay attention to my Chloe. She's weird. Here is Shannon. She had to donate some runes, I think, to Arya. I really don't use Shannon that often, just for that Zyros or Chroma level in TOA hard if it shows up. So if I have to use her, I'll probably just stick something on her. We can probably just stick something on her now. How about that crit damage rune, guys? Should we do that? No, we shouldn't. That defense rune, yeah, we'll do this one. So there you go. There's new Shannon. She has some runes on. Go, Shannon. Here's Ramagos. I don't think he had any improvements because he gets like my best tanky runes. So here he is, just grindstones and gems maybe. Yeah, there's a gem. So yeah, Ramagos is looking pretty good, as always. Okay, here is my copper. I don't think I changed anything on him aside from gems and grindstones, just because I don't think I picked up any upgrades for him in the last month. Maybe that was because I was doing so much R5, or maybe it's because it's kind of hard to find upgrades for him because he has pretty good runes. I don't quite know. Here's Bernard. Grease Lightning. Yeah, so the only thing that got changed on him were grindstones and gems. For his build, I tried to make him as tanky as possible. So I look at all the builds that have the most speed which is plus 186. There were like a couple of builds with plus 186 speed, and then I went with the one that was the tankiest, and I think it also had some accuracy on it, because I think the accuracy is good for Arena and, you know, Guild Wars. I use him in Guild Wars too, but mainly the tankiness is what I was looking for. So yeah, the runes didn't change though. This was just the build that's the tankiest for the fastest build that I had. Okay, next is Mav. I don't use him that much, but I did put runes on him. I looked at builds because I do use him sometimes in TOA hard. Well, actually, I use him more than not. Like some Spectra, I really only use. Well, never mind. I'm a liar. For those TOA hard videos that I've been doing, I've been using Mav and Spectra together on those boss floors, so I did look at runing him because I was anticipating using him for TOA hard. So yeah, I'll probably have to go back and rune Spectra again actually, because I kind of forgot that I use Spectra so much for those boss floors to do my videos. Here is Lagmaron. I don't quite remember what happened to him, but I do think his speed improved by about 10, and overall he saw upgrades. The crit rate is a little bit low for me. I don't like having it that low for him, especially for a monster that relies on like one move to crit his Squall. It's a little bit low, but I'm dealing with it for now, so this was the build I decided on. I think if I went higher with crit rate, he'd lose too much damage, or it just wasn't possible. Some of these runes might be able to have crit rate put on them. Let's see. Oh, shoot, they all have crit rate. Dang it. Oh, they all do. Well, okay, there goes that plan. But yeah, there's Lag. He did get improved, I think. He might have lost some crit rate, but overall, better. Here is Chisoon. I think she got worse, actually. She might have gotten faster, but her HP is quite low, as well as her defense. Her defense might actually be okay, but HP not good, especially for her second skill. That's based off of, the heal's based off of her HP. So, you know, I'm kind of dealing with it. She's a little bit low on the priority list for runes, so, you know, this is just how she ended up. Here is Briand. I looked at runing him after pretty much everything else, and he got most of the slower despair runes because I find that he works out okay that way. I would rather give Arya faster ones. So there he is. He's looking pretty good. A ton of defense, a ton of HP, and okay speed. Okay accuracy too. I like this actually. I like the way he looks. Here is my Lucian that moves second, so he's the weaker one. And he did get better. I think per card he gained like 300 damage per card, which was pretty good. That kind of worried me slightly because I was worried that he would trigger other Nemesis monsters more. But it's only been 1 week and I haven't really noticed. Like, I don't know. I kind of messed up the past rush hour, so maybe it was just me messing up, but I'll have to keep an eye on it. So doing good damage though, crit rate looking good, 83%, I like that. Here is my Ritesh. He is on my AD along with Vero, Veligil, and Freya. So I did rune him up pretty much first after I runed up my Lucians, and then I went ahead and did my AD. And he's a Nat 5, he's a really good Nat 5, so I've always given him really good runes. So that's him. The reason he has the shield set on is because some of my other monsters are bordering 30k HP, like Veligil especially. Some Lucians can do 10k per card, so I wanted to have that shield set on him to try to help out a little bit, to help Veligil survive. And it helps in Guild Wars as well against Orions, so that's cool. Here's a Messity. He did not get changed at all, I don't think. I still use him a ton with Copper Bulldozer, and I have really good success with that team, actually. I've gotten a lot better with it, and my runes have gotten better, so yeah, awesome. Katarina is not runed, but I have her out here because I'm thinking about doing the Ganymede, Katarina, Kevin Snuff team, so yeah, keep a lookout for that. I think I will rune her up pretty soon. Here is my Lucian that moves second. Wait, maybe I messed up the other one. This is the one that moves second. He's the harder hitting one. He did get a damage increase, but he lost 5 crit rate, which is always kind of sad, but I think the trade-off is okay. I forgot how much damage he gained per card, but I think it was quite a bit, like a couple hundred maybe, 400, 500, I don't know. I think he's hitting, well, maybe not. I think maybe it was just like 300. I think he's hitting 9.7k per card, maybe 9.8k. I don't know. We can actually test that out. Let's go ahead and see, because there was someone on the list who I wanted to hit. Yeah, I wanted to hit this guy, so we can take a look and see how much damage per card my Lucians do. I think this is how people do it. They just look and see how much damage. I don't really know, though. I didn't see. Shoot. Okay, well, I didn't see. I was looking at the monkey and I forgot that the monkey has the thing, but maybe you guys saw, so there's the answer, maybe, unless I need to do some math on that to really give you guys the proper answer. I don't know. Okay, so that was the second moving Lucian. Here is Ganymede. I ruined him up pretty late after everything else, just because I didn't really think I'd be using him that much. He does need to be fixed a little bit, because at the moment he moves after Theo, and I have tried out using Chisoon, Ganymede, Theo, and he does need to move before Theo, so I might try to see if I can fix him a little bit. Here's my Darien, my other R5 frontliner, and I only use him in R5. In the past, I have used him in Guild Wars, like, a little bit, with his current build, which is, defense focused. But right now I just only use him in R5. So there he is. Here's Bella. She got changed because a lot of my other violent monsters got changed, and she's pretty low on the priority list as well. Probably about where Ganymede is. So her runes might not be looking the best this month, but it's okay. She still functions where I need her to function, which is dragons and Necro. Here's Arya. I think she did see improvements. I'm liking the way she looks right now. I think what I did was I runed up Beretta, and then after that I looked at runing up Arya, because I use them on my TOA hard auto team. So I'm pretty sure I decided to see what despair runes I had, because at the moment Beretta and Arya are like my only despair support monsters, so they get everything that I have. So I think that's why I did that, because I knew I had things to put on her. Escher's unruined, so I don't know why he's out here. I think I had to take runes off of him. Pretty sure I had to take off a slot 1 and put it on my Theo maybe, so he's unruined. Here's Vero. I don't remember what happened to him. He might have changed slightly. No, I think he stayed the same. I don't remember, because I had some options and I could have changed him, but I think I just kept him the same actually, because I like the accuracy on him for Guild Wars, because I think it's important that he lands his stomp. My throat just got weird there. In the future, I might put him on double Nemesis Will for AD, but I don't have those runes at the moment. I only have one Nemesis set that's kind of decent. Again, why I think I need to work on my Necro team. Here's Kona. I don't really know if it's worth looking at him. Yeah, he just has some weird stuff on. Oh gosh, a 4-star rune. How does that even exist on my account? Tyrone got unruined for Arya, I think, or Beretta. Freya, I did change up slightly, I think. I don't really remember. Yeah, I think she had to donate a rune to someone, so I had to redo her build. So this is how she's looking right now. And then after that, do I have anything else ruined? No, not really. No, I think that's it. So those were the runes. Let's check out monster storage so you guys can see if I picked up anything new over the last month. And then the final thing we have to do is look at some dungeon teams. So I'm trying to think. I kind of didn't see what I had at the top of storage, but I can scroll back up and we can take a look and I can discuss anything that I might build. Really, I think it's just going to be working on DB10 runs with Tark, and I don't have any other plans besides Tark, Kevin Snuff. Kona I've kind of been thinking about, but I don't know. I might be able to get away with a broken set on him, just like a bunch of broken sets for Kona. I do not have a violent set to give him, unfortunately. So maybe I could put some stuff on him, I don't know. Okay, so that was storage. Let's scroll to the top and see if there's anything that I want to talk about. I had a recommendation, I think, from Too Lazy to Die. He's a Redditor. I like his advice and stuff. I think he told me that he would suggest that I build Seek for Devolution, to use like Megan Devolution Seek or something like that. But I don't have any plans to do that at the moment. So yeah, stuff in storage. Maybe a mirror eventually. I've been talking about that for a Cleave team. Gemini, maybe if I get Orion. So yeah, that's storage. Let's check out some dungeon runs, shall we? So here's my Giants B10 team. It's been the same for a while now, and the runs probably got slightly faster just because of rune upgrades, so we can take a look at what's going on here. The main things that I've been noticing are that sometimes it has to do with like amputation magics, because my Lucian just kind of wasted his amputation magic. Maybe I should change up the yeah, there's one thing that I wanted to look at with my Lucians. I don't know if they're in the right order at the moment. I think the smarter thing to do would be to put my Lucian who does more damage in the first slot. That way I have a higher chance of killing everything with amputation magic. He does have lower crit rate, but it's only by like 3%. My harder hitting one has 80% crit rate, and the less hard hitting one has 83. Let me see if they're in the right order. So 56 seconds, that's probably about right. I don't think they've been failing really like at all. Okay, so they're in the correct order. Yeah, I don't think they've been failing, really. I did have some fails a couple months ago, like 2 months ago, I was noticing a couple fails here and there, or just like one fail here or there with Giants, but this month I haven't noticed any. And I was doing a lot of Giants to catch up on the stocking event. So here's my DB10 team, it's the same, and shoutouts to one of my guild leaders, Lestat, I don't know if I said that right, but in guild chat, he was mentioning how he has kind of like a YOLO DB10 team working. I mean, it's YOLO, yeah, I guess we can call it YOLO, but people actually have like more YOLO teams, so his team is, oh gosh, my phone's lagging or something's lagging. His team, let me try to remember what it was. Verd, Galleon, Stella, Tark, something. Lisa. Verd, Galleon, Stella, Tark, Lisa. So instead of the Stella, I'm thinking about Sig. I did try out a very similar team. He inspired me to, but the team was failing. I wrote down the successes and fails actually right here on in my notebook, and I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 23 successes and 4 fails, so that's not good enough for me. I don't like that success rate. So I went back to my safer team, which is this one. And they've been clearing it pretty fast. I think they've been clearing it in like 2 minutes, and my guild leader's team was clearing it in like 1:15 to 1:30, which is obviously better. So after this run, I can show you guys my YOLO DB10 team, but the success rate's not good, and I will be working like pretty much on that same team. Hey, more AGDQ talk. Oh, I'm missing it, but it's okay. I have to do this video. I'll watch it after this. So I'll just have to improve on rune quality, and I think the Tart can help. I think skill ups on my Sig will also help. There's a couple things I can look at doing, so we'll take a look at one of the runs, and then I can talk about those things when we do. Come on now, hurry up, team. You can do it. Okay. 1 dragon down. 208. Not bad, not bad, I don't think. Okay, let's redo it with the other team. So Galleon and Lisa. Okay, so here. So the change that I really want to make, hold on, I'll wait till the run starts. So the change that I really want to make is putting Tarkin for Theo, I think. I think this team should work, though, if I just had better runes and maybe skill ups on Sig. I think this team should have a higher success rate. I don't know. I don't know how much Tark will help. So we'll have to see. I might do some more research on Reddit to see what other people are saying. And then I think Lisa is missing... Sorry, someone called me. I think Lisa is missing 1 skill up in her second skill, which might help. And then again, she only has 8% accuracy, which is really low for dragons because the cap is 55%. So sometimes the runs go to the final boss, and Lisa needs to, if she cleanses that thing off of the boss, the immunity, it would help. But I don't know if I can give her that many stats, because at the moment she needs resistance, speed, HP, and defense, and then if I add accuracy on, it's like really stretching her. So I don't know if I can do that without giving her really good runes, and I don't know if I want to do that to her. Maybe if I end up using her in here as well, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. So I've noticed that sometimes Galleon misses the defense break on the boss, but he has really, really high accuracy. Also, my Sig is slower than Verd, and I think if Sig was faster, it can help out. That way Verd boosts up a lot of attack bar. So this run went fairly well, but like I said, this team does not have a good success rate, so I am using that safer team. 148. That's kind of slow, actually. That's actually really similar to my other team, but this team did get that 116. That new best time was this team with these runes. So that was dragons. Let's take a look at Necro. My Necro team does fail. It does. And the runes on these monsters are not good, so I need to look at fixing this. And I'm avoiding Necro at the moment because of this issue. But one day I'll be back. I've just been farming dragons. Today I farmed dragons, but we do have the Hall of Heroes coming out, the Bark Hall of Heroes, so I'll be farming that, and then probably back in dragons, and then I might have to look at some rune builds for these monsters. So I'll do that sometime. And then the final run will be R5. I'm not going to show you guys my farmers, I'm just using my Lucian, so yeah. It's kind of boring just to watch a Lucian run. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. My AD, let's talk about that. So, the double arenas, I talked about how I do want to build them eventually. I have thought about the double fire mummy. I think I'm just going to keep testing things out, and I will have to get Vero on double nemesis sometime, because I do think that that can help out my team. Whenever I'm able to farm Necro, I will try to farm it to get him on double nemesis. I might have to look at all my monsters and write out my different priorities, because like I said, I do want to get a speed DB10 team going, but is that really necessary, you know? And I might be able to move some runes around to rune up some monsters better to make those things work. I don't really know though, because I'm thinking I do have that Rayoke. Maybe I could try making this team work, my Necro team with Rayoke. Maybe I should look at other options for it, like the Water Lich, or I don't know, something else, like Lucian or something. I don't know if my team is YOLO enough to do that yet. I will have to do more research. So I do really like the Revenge for Necro. I do like the Violent as well. Like, I like the rune builds, but I just feel like my tankiness isn't quite there. I would like Hua on Violent too. Maybe I might try to see if I can put her on Violent for R5. She might be okay on Violent in R5, I don't know. Because I know she does tick up the boss's counter. But maybe it'll be okay. I'm not sure. So 228. Now let's go ahead and check out R5. Hopefully we can find a group quickly. So this is the team that I stick with because they can survive the final jump for the most part. Sometimes some things die, but everything usually survives the final jump. And then eventually I will move on to the Shaolin double damage dealer, Hua and Shaolin on the same team, but I don't quite think I have the runes for it yet. But I wanted to have that team just in case it worked out. It might actually work out with some of my guild members, and then of course it works out with stronger people. If I ever happen to get into a really strong group, then I can bust that out and do more damage and have faster runs. So for the most part, I've been clearing R5 in like 3 minutes and 30 seconds to like 5 minutes. It really just depends on the group kind of. But I would say most of my runs are in the 3 minute and 30 second range, which is really good. That's what I was aiming for when I wanted to start farming R5. I didn't want it to be any slower because I feel like that's kind of a waste. Some of the runs are slower, but I'm okay with it, you know. I'll just burn my crystals in the other dungeons if I need to get rid of them. So with Hua, though, pay attention to her. I think in the beginning of the fight, I talked about this earlier, but I think she's moving and then getting hurt, and then either Chasun or Colleen are putting the attack buff on her, but she gets stunned. So we'll see if it happens. Maybe after the next jump or something, like whenever these buffs get wiped, I don't know. I was noticing, like, right off the bat, though, when the raid starts, Hua attacks and then gets the attack buff, but then she's stunned, which is not good. Oh yeah, and then I talked about earlier how I might try to rune up some farmable monsters to make a full farmable R5 team, just to see if it's doable. So I'm thinking Bella instead of Chasun and Kona instead of Lisa, but then for the damage dealer, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe Theo, I think that might be a bad idea. It might be better to bring Tessarian. I still don't really fully know how buffs work in R5, because I heard that they're, like, shared. I don't know. I think people told me, because in one of my recent videos, I'm like, I still don't know how they work. But the boss had unrecoverable debuff on it, and he was still getting healed. So I don't know what that was all about. But I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Maybe I'm just making that up. But I'm pretty sure I saw that in one of my R5 runs. I'm like, how is he still getting healed? Like, do the other people need to put that on as well? So I might just do Tessarian and hope that the other people have slows, if slows apply to everyone. The attack bar pushback's really strong with Hua, so I don't know. I want to do that video now because my runes don't have that many grindstones on them. Like, these monsters, I don't know how many grinds they have. I'll let you guys watch the run, but I don't think Lisa has too many, so I still kind of want to do it while my runes don't have many grinds, just to be able to see if it's doable. That way I can prove my theory. I kind of have a theory that you shouldn't really even farm R4. Like, I was thinking earlier, maybe farming R4 is worth it if you only need like 15 speed on your cleanser or something like that. Because I think that makes a pretty big difference if you can get your cleanser from like 90 to like 105 or something like that. So R4 might be worth it in that instance, but I don't really know. We'll see. 4 minutes, that's okay. It's a little slower than I'd like, but you guys can see how everyone survived the final jump, and it was a good run. So, sorry guys, gotta go. So that was the end of the rune video. Hope you guys enjoyed checking everything out, and I will catch you guys later.